Go ahead, Chase.
Scott, you guys are on to the playoffs now. Just what's your reaction to advancing out of the play-in tournament?
I'm excited. I'm excited about the group. I knew that we would bounce back. I'm glad they did it in the way that we did on both ends of the floor. But what we've been through, I mean, I've said it, documented it, talked about it enough, but it still feels great to anytime you can stick together through some tough times and keep fighting for one another. That's what sport is all about, and that's what teams are all about. And we got a good group of guys. That's why I love coaching this team, because they're always challenging each other and pushing each other, and they deserve a lot of the credit, if not all of the credit, by doing that, because it hasn't been easy for a lot of reasons. But the easy part of it was coaching this group, and that's what makes my job enjoyable.
And Scott, Daniel Gafford, 15 points, 5 blocks in the first half. I mean, this guy's 22. He's never been in the postseason before. How do you describe that performance?
Special. His athleticism. Give him credit, man. He's coachable. He wants to get better. He has an enthusiasm for the game. Smart kid, smart, quiet, but you can get some stuff out of him. He comes up with some good basketball stuff. So I like that about him. Still learning his game. I'm still learning him as a person. But from what I've seen the last couple of months, that's a big time pickup for Tommy in our group. But our guards love playing with them. But I thought, someone told me that Alex never been in the playoffs either. So that's great. Because I don't even know how many points and rebounds he ended up having, 4 and 7. But I thought his minutes were critical and like huge for our success tonight, because he was guarding a guy that's kind of had his way against us. And he made him earn every bucket, and he got him some foul trouble. And so I thought Alex did good. And then Roll comes in, the 3 centers. I mean, look what they did. They all chipped in, they all contributed, and they don't get a lot of credit. They deserve a lot of credit because they get our guards open, and our guards appreciate all 3 of them.
Okay. Ava?
Scott, you guys talked a lot about how Russ didn't get to celebrate his record-setting run in front of crowds, but the moment in the third quarter where he got everybody kind of on their feet, did it feel like postseason basketball? Did it feel like in that moment, like, oh yeah, this is a playoff game? Yeah,
you know what's crazy? I was even thinking to myself when all that was taking place, it was such a cool moment. I've had such a lot of great moments with that young man, and I love the guy to death and love how he competes. But I was thinking of that, man, that had to be the loudest 5,000 fans in an arena that I've ever heard, because there's a lot of, there's 15,000 seats are empty, but it was loud, and they were so enthusiastic throughout the game. And to see Russell doing all those things, and they appreciate it. And Brad had a moment of this game. It's really an interesting game, because about 8 or 9 of our guys had like really big time 6 or 7 minute spurts and won the game. And that's what a team is about. But Russell and Brad, it was, it's great having fans. I'm not complaining because we only have 5. It would be great if we can have more, but those fans got their money's worth, and I'm sure they appreciate the work that this team has done and put in, and hopefully we made them proud during this run. Now we got a chance to, play against one of the best teams in basketball, and we're excited about it. We know what we can do, and what we're about. We're a much better team than we were in the first month of the season. We know that.
Fred?
Hey, Scott. Rui really fought through foul trouble the other night and just couldn't make as much of an impact because he just couldn't play that many minutes. How did you see that he kind of handled the last 48 hours after that game, and what did you make of the way he bounced back tonight?
I like the fact that we all had an edge to us, and you can ask some of our coaches in our Zoom 2-hour meeting today. I had an edge to myself, and I wanted our staff to have an edge. We were disappointed that we played the way we played in Boston, not taking away anything in Boston. We had a lot of things that, the foul trouble, whatever, it didn't matter. We still didn't play well. And everybody took charge of, ownership of that, and they wanted to come back better. And what's crazy is Russell didn't have a good game, and I've had so many text messages, man, what's wrong with Russell? I said, what's wrong with him? He's had 2 months of being like MVP numbers. He had a bad game. That's what's wrong. He's not superhuman. But Rui comes back the same way. He came back with an edge. He always has this serious approach, but you can just see that he wanted to play much better than the previous outing.
And you guys now have a series to prepare for against Philadelphia. I know obviously you haven't started the actual preparation for that, but how do you view that matchup upcoming, especially against Embiid with the way he's played this year?
He's one of the best bigs, and he's one of the best bigs in a long time. But hey, like I tell our guys, there's no reason to fear anybody you play against. You respect them, and you compete against them. They put their socks on one sock at a time on. It's like us, unless they do something different, put them both on at the same time. But I don't think so. That's some tricky stuff there. But I think what we're about, we want to play the way we've been playing. We've been really improving this last 2 months, and we know we're up. It's a big challenge. They're a good team. They got a best record in the East for a reason. But the game is about 48 minutes on the clock. It's not about the noise that teams or people will say about the game. I love the fact that everybody talks about playoff basketball because it's fun, it's exciting. This is what you play for. And we got players that never been in the playoffs, and it's a great opportunity for them. And then we got players that played big moments and big minutes in playoffs. So we know they're a good team, but we're a good team just as much as they are a good team.
Yeah.
Scott, I know we have talked about Russ a lot the last 6 weeks, but you know him probably better than any of us. What are the nonverbal cues he gives you when you know he's ready, when you know he's going to have a big game?
Well, I've been around him so much now. I think I'm the only person that can talk to him on game days. And I got a new pair of Nikes tonight, and they have one side has a tag on it. I guess you're supposed to keep it on. I was about to cut it off. So I talked to my fashion consultant before the game. I said, Russ, I need your help here. And he looks at me, what do you need, coach? I said, I got a new pair of Nikes. Do I cut this little tag off? He said, no, you don't cut the tag off. That's what it's there for. I said, I don't have one on the right side. He says, no, it's only one. Just leave it alone. They look good. Are they comfortable? And I said, yeah, okay. So I knew I did that because I know I can talk to him, but Russell has an edge to him, guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the world should appreciate that. And because you're not going to see an athlete like this many generations that want to win every possession, that wants to play every night. And he gives you everything. He's just he's a hooper. And sometimes he's an angry hooper, but he's a hooper that just plays the right way and plays hard. But I knew he wanted to come back better.
Yeah.
I knew he wanted to come back better, and I knew he was going to lead us to a better outing because we didn't like it, what we did. I mean, like I said, give Boston credit. They outplayed us, and they deserved to win the game, but we didn't put up we could have put up a better fight. We should have. I was disappointed in myself. Wasn't happy at all either.
And in terms of what's transferable from this year with what Russ has brought to the organization going forward, what are the things that you can build on going ahead with this group?
Just there's a lot of things that he brings. and I can sit here all day and tell you a lot of them, but you probably already know them. But what he brings a championship mentality. And if you've never won a championship, you can still have a championship mentality. And I play with a lot of great players and coach against a lot of great coaches, and they have it. It takes a lot of, it takes a lot of good fortune and some luck to win one. We almost won it as a group with him before, but he brings that to us, and he knows the steps that you have to do to get there. He doesn't skip steps. He doesn't skip steps. He prepares, and he's locked in. Like I've said many times, you go with 60, 70 minutes on the game clock, and you go walk through our locker room, and it's like, looks like he's watching the most serious documentary on the television, on the TV screen, but he's watching usually our last game against their opponent. He's so locked in, but he brings that professionalism, that excellence about doing your job every day, and don't make excuses. You play through everything within reason, but you always commit to the game, because the game could be taken away and you don't want to disappoint the game. And it's like, it's revered. And I think he brings that to our young guys. Some of our veteran guys, they've already have their foundation. We can tweak it, but the young guys, what he's going to bring to them, in 10 years, they're going to be thankful that they had Russell, for the first, 4 or 5 years of their career.
Scott Abraham.
Hey, Scott, you mentioned it at the very beginning of how much this team has overcome, from COVID to the losing streaks. And I'm wondering, because you've been in the NBA for a lot of years, is this one of the more rewarding accomplishments, rewarding runs that you've ever been a part of?
Yeah, and they've overcome a lot. Bad coaching, you forgot that also, right? They, you know what? I love what I do, man. I've been very, very lucky to be able to be in this NBA, and it's a privilege for 30 years. And I love playing. I love being on a team. I love competing. I love practicing. I love getting fights with teammates. I love arguing and debating with people about the game. And now I get to do it as a coach. But I love coaching this team, because we did things like other teams did probably too, but we've done things that there's no template. There's no book that we could have read. We didn't know 90% of the things that we were doing, because it was just all like we were learning it on the fly, not having practice, not having shoot around, being away from the team for 10 days, having 7 guys basically miss 3 weeks in January, and then all the injuries on top of that. But I couldn't ask for a better group of guys, and I'm thankful that I've been with it through this group, because they made it manageable, and they made it exciting. And I'm thankful to coach this group. It's a fun group to be around. They're challenging at times. They're not always easy, but they've been none of our coaches can say anything bad about any of our guys, because they compete every night.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take a couple more. Matt Paris.
Hey, Scott, when you think about the trade back in December for Russ, I mean, is this a night that you really kind of appreciate that, just bringing him in, and when you really need to make the playoffs, you have a guy like that?
Well, I can remember when we made the trade, and I knew what we were getting. Like I said, I've known Russell and his family for 13 years now, and coached them for 7 years. We had a lot of very incredible moments, and some very exciting moments, and fun moments, and tough moments, and angry moments at one another. I mean, I remember fighting him for over 1 minute. He wanted to average 35 minutes. I was fighting over him. No, you're averaging 34. We fought for 20 minutes in my office over that. Like, very animated discussion, but I knew what we were getting. It's funny. There's another quick story about middle of the season after one of our losses. And I knew, I don't know how long, I don't even remember what game, because everything just kind of, he gave a very passionate very direct talk to the group. And he was like, I am not going through this season and not making the playoffs. And he, not that he predicted it, but he says, I'm not going to let this happen and not make the playoffs. We're going to step up and fight for one another. And he went on and on and on. And I'm just like, that's a special young man there. And that's a passionate, that's almost like you guys better be ready for about what's about to take place. And it turned around. I don't know if it was that moment, but everybody jumped on, and it was a special, I know it was special for me to see him after all the things I've been through with him, the previous 7 years coaching him.
I know you don't remember the game, but do you remember like the month or anything?
No, it was probably a couple months ago.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not saying it was right after the Phoenix game, but I know it was probably a couple weeks before that. We didn't like start winning right away, but there was another awareness to like, what are we about as a team? What are we going to remember this year? We're going to remember just giving into all the craziness that took place, or we're going to remember for all the work that we put through to fight through all the craziness that took place. And as it turned out, we're going to remember, and we still have more to add to that, but we get to remember of all the craziness that we went through and fought through and believed in each other through.
Darren.
Hey, Scott. Most of the questions are already answered, but I'm sitting here looking at some of the employees in Capital One Arena. And with COVID, it ended all their jobs in here. Knowing the fact that making this playoffs is going to give them another opportunity, a couple more days to go to work, how does that make you feel? How would you describe that, or what that you think that means to them?
We love them. And that's trust me, that they have not gone unnoticed. I've become friends with a lot of them, the ones I see every game, and you miss them. And you know that it's two things. They love being around the team. They love being in the city and in their arena and supporting our team. But it also, I mean, it supplements income as well. So it's a great, I mean, I'm so happy. Like I said, it's only 5,000, but it's better than with nobody. It was, I mean, now that it's passed, it was the worst playing in front of nobody. It was absolutely horrible. And I'll give the NBA credit. They've tried like heck to make it somewhat exciting, and actually watching it on TV, it wasn't as bad, but coaching it and playing it, our players, and they deserve a lot of credit to play through that. But they did, but we miss having the fans. We miss having the ushers and having all the workers back. And hopefully, like I said many times, hopefully we keep adding to it, and the Capitals can add to it, and the Nationals can add to it, and we have more fans, and the businesses are back to booming like the city needs to be.
All right, that's all the time we got for Coach
All
tonight.
right. Appreciate it, guys.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Hey, Daniel. This week has basically been your first postseason like experience. I'm just wondering what it's been like for you approaching for it, prepping for it, and now that you guys have been successful, what it's like on the other end.
Really just making sure my mental is in the right spot. Yeah, that's just the main thing. This is basically playoff basketball. When we had played last game, it just, the energy was different, things like that. And it's something that I really have to get used to if I want to make it a long way in this league. So just really just taking the time to just really just lock in and be able to come out and just perform, not really just let anything get to me, not let like the refs get to me or let the fouls get to me or anything like that. Just really just coming out and just playing basketball, because I mean, it's playoff basketball and the intensity is way high. I mean, I got to come out every night in the postseason and play with that same intensity, because guys are not going to have any sympathy for us or anything at all.
And you got into foul trouble in the Boston game early, and Scott talked about how he felt like so many guys didn't play their best game in that game, and he said he thought you guys came out with a different intensity in this game. How did you interpret that intensity for yourself coming into this?
I mean, we didn't want to lose. That's the main thing. We came out with a mentality that we weren't going home today. You know, it was win or go home in this situation, and we came out and we took care of business. We did the things that we had to do, and we came out and we played a great game. Now we just have to turn it over and do it in the playoffs.
Chase.
Daniel, you had 5 blocks in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't happen very often. What led to that breakout right there?
Really just going up and just contesting as much as I can, you know, helping out my teammates if they would get beat off the dribble, and just really not worrying about what's behind me. Main thing that I always worry about if like I go block shots or anything like that, you know, my man is gonna always get the rebound. You know, not just really just like going up to block the shot and just making sure it either comes to me or it goes to somebody else on the team. That's just my main thing. Not really just worrying about everything else that's around me, just worrying about the main task at hand and just protecting home.
And in the first half, I saw during a timeout, you had a pretty long conversation with one of the refs. It seemed like kind of demonstrating maybe how to defend without fouling.
Mm-hmm.
What was that conversation about? And just, you know, I guess, what does it say about your quest to continue to learn and get better?
It was just really about the first foul that I got on Sabonis. I was just asking, like, what did I do wrong and what I could have done better in that situation. And it kind of helped me. It helps me to learn in that situation, because down the road, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna have to be in the game and just be able to withstand not fouling. And the main thing I want to do is learn how not to foul. You know, I'm sometimes a foul magnet, and I just, you know, I want to put an end to that. And tonight, just really after that first foul, you know, I always go up to the refs respectfully, even if like I'm in a game or anything like that. I try to, you know, respect the refs as much as I possibly can. And I just asked him, like, you know, what I could have done better. And he said I was like stunned at the ball and stuff when I was like, it was McConnell that threw the ball to him. And, you know, he said if I, you know, jump with verticality, I don't get that foul. And those are the things that, you know, like talking to the refs and things like that, just learning and being able to, you know, turn that over to the game that'll help me stay in the game longer. You know, I don't want to be a foul. I don't want to be a foul prone guy. I don't want to be a guy that they go downhill at and like, oh yeah, he's going to foul every time. That's not my mentality. I want to be better defensively when it comes to that. And that's just my opinion on that.
Ava.
Daniel, Brad has talked a lot about how important he feels it is for him to be available even while he's dealing with the hamstring. Just what effect has seeing him kind of play through that and be out there and want to be out there for you guys had on the team or had on you personally?
Shows that he wants it more than anybody. I mean, you know, it takes a lot to play through a hamstring injury, and just seeing him come out and play through it every night after that he's done it, it's amazing to me, because, you know, that's what separates him from like a lot of guys in this league. You know, it's a lot of guys that I would say, you know, hurt themselves and they kind of, you know, dwell on the fact that they're hurt and, you know, try not to come back into the game and just kind of like, you know, like I said, dwell on it, certain things like that. But I mean, if you got a guy like Brad and he's coming out playing on a hamstring injury, it's a tough situation. I mean, I don't understand the pain that he's in. And he might not even be in any pain, but just coming out and showing the heart and the toughness that he's shown and still playing like at an elite level that he's doing with that type of injury is it's a great thing. That's what separates him and puts him in that category with a lot of other great players in this league.
And obviously you guys move on to Philly now, but how do you view the matchup against Joel Embiid? And are you almost happy to have that challenge, like salivating over you guys get to go at one of the best bigs in the league?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great challenge for me and any other big on this team. We just got to come out and match his physicality. That's the main thing. You know, he's going to talk a lot of trash, for sure. But, you know, Joel Embiid is one of the best bigs in this league, and we can't just come out think he's just going to take it easy on us. You know, he wants to win too. So we got to come out and match his physicality. That's the main thing. You know, we got to play at the same level he's playing in, no matter what happens, no matter what goes on in the game, no matter what the refs do. And no matter no matter like if it's like minutes or anything else, we just have to come out and play, because he's going to come out and play from the start to the finish of the game.
Ben Standing.
Hey, Daniel, obviously it's now been a while since the trade and you've gone through this whole ride with this team. But for you personally, do you sort of pinch yourself at all and think like, wow, how well this has gone from, you know, considering, you never know how a trade's going to work out?
Yeah, I mean, I was overwhelmed with a lot of emotion after the game. I just had to kind of hold it in. But I mean, other than that, like I said, I felt that this trade was, I would say the best thing that could have happened to me. And with the situation that I was in Chicago, you know what I'm saying? I understand the business side of it. So, they had to make changes. And I was one of those changes with Hutch being traded here. So I understand completely. There's no beef or anything with Chicago. I love Chicago. I love the staff, love the coaches, everything through and through. But I mean, it's the business side of the NBA. So now I'm here and I came in and I did what I had to do. They told me I had a job here. Coach told me I had a job here. He was like to block shots, set screens, pick and roll, catch lobs. Simple as that. He gave me the freedom to do what I wanted to do in the game. But I mean, at the end of the day, I just can't. I just come out and play.
And not to and your celebration thoughts here, but obviously up next is a big challenge in Joel Embiid. What are your initial thoughts about that matchup?
Just like I said, we just have to match his physicality and his energy because, I mean, he's going to come out working and we got to come out working too. This is a great opportunity for us to push further into the playoffs and be able to, let the name of Washington Wizards be known again. Because, I mean, from what I've been seeing, it's been a while since they've been in this situation. And, it's a great thing that we're back in this situation. And it's a great thing that I'm back. I'm on this team and helping them be in this situation,
All right, last question to Neil.
Hey, Daniel, obviously, you guys didn't have the game you guys wanted last time. What was said before this game to, really make sure you guys got focused and were able to take care of business?
I don't even think anything was really said. We all came in and we had it on our minds that we was going to win this game. And that's what we came out and did. We all came in together. Brad does his speech before the game. He says, he says, play together and just, work hard and just be there for each other. That was the main thing. And the mentality was to come out and just win. Simple as that. But other than that, it wasn't really even anything that was really just said. Everything else was said after the game. That's pretty much it. We worked to be in this position and that's what we came out and did tonight.
Thanks, Daniel.
All right, Daniel, appreciate you.
All right.
Rui, after battling through foul trouble against Boston, what was your mindset coming into tonight? What that led to a bounce back game?
I mean, like the last game, it was just awful. Everybody was in the first trouble. Especially me, I had 2-3 quick one of, the first half, but it was a game. One of those games. So. Right after the game, we say, just forget about this game, and then we just gotta switch the gear, switch your mind, and just focus on this game. And I think we came out with a good energy tonight from the beginning, and especially defense. We are locked in, and offense, it's we're a good offense team. So, but yeah, it was a great game.
And after that game, did you get any advice from any of the veteran players? I know Russell Westbrook's kind of taking you under his wing, or did anything that anybody said to you kind of stand out as you went from that game to this one?
What game are you talking about? This game?
From Boston to tonight, did anyone give you any advice for how to bounce back?
We just, as a team, we just talk about, whole team, we gotta just step up our game, it's just the playoff time, and the play-ins are different, but it's almost playoff thing. So we just gotta play our best. There's no, even the coaches always talk about the playoffs is different, and every single play counts. It matters, especially from a jump ball. So yeah, today we actually did we did a great job from the beginning, from jump ball to every single plays. We fought through, and yeah, I think we made a good step.
Fred.
Hey, Rui. You guys now have a series against Philadelphia, and they have obviously some very good large wings in Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons, and I'm sure you'll be responsible for guarding a bunch of players like that. how do you feel like you can fare and be successful in those kinds of matchups when you're kind of having to defend a good big wing for every minute you're on the floor?
For me, I think it's just gotta stay locked in and being physical. Especially those guys. We can make them comfortable. Especially like beginning of the game. So I think we gotta make a statement. The first game, we just not playing around. We here to win the games. Like I say, just gotta be physical. That's the key to win those games. Yeah.
Christos.
Hey, Rick, congratulations on the win. In your second season, you're ready for your first playoff appearance. What it means for you, that?
It means a lot, I never been in playoffs, but everybody say the coaches, the players, they've been to playoffs. They say it's different in regular season, it's a different intensity, physicality, like everything, So I'm excited, I'm excited for it. Last year we didn't make it, and this year, a chance to go, play the playoffs. So I'm so excited about it. Yeah.
And also tonight, your leaders, Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal, brought a lot of passion, a lot of desire to win. What is it a kind of boost for you, for the whole team, that passion, and how would you describe the mood in the team?
Mood in the team right now?
Yes.
It's great, we're just trying to win, especially especially Russ, he always, he always trying to, bring a good energy. Especially we have a lot of young guys too, so sometimes it's hard to like just stay locked in the game and stuff. So he always like make us stay locked in the games and so. But yeah, him and Brad, I know how much we want to win. We want to make the playoffs, and now we're here, and we know just go and play and like whatever. We're gonna actually go out there and then win those games.
Neil.
Hey, Rui, for you specifically, you always have to get a tough defensive matchup. How are you able to just balance, you need to be aggressive, but, you don't necessarily always have the ball in your hands. How are you always trying to help in other ways on the court?
You talk about defense or offense?
Both sides.
I just gotta be aggressive, always the coaches, Russ, Brad, they always tell me, if I'm aggressive, good things happen. So in the defense, like I said, like, I gotta just be physical and then stay locked in, and the rebounds, and the offense, I can just, I can play my game. It's just there's nothing, really like I just being aggressive, staying aggressive and locked in the game. I think that's the key to stay in the game and help this team.
All right, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Zach.
Okay, thanks, Matt. 八村選手、よろしくお願いします。
はい、お願いします。
おめでとうございます。
はい、ありがとうございます。
ウィザーズにとって3年ぶりのプレーオフ進出、八村選手にとって初のプレーオフ進出ですけど、今どんな気持ちですか？
そうですね、去年もプレーオフに行けるチャンスがあったんですけども、逃してしまって、今年やっていけるということですごい楽しみにしてますし、チームでもコーチたち、選手たち、その先輩方の人たちもよくプレーオフは本当にインテンスとかフィジカリティも違いますし、そういうところが違うっていうことを言ってたので、僕もそういうレギュラーシーズンと違うって言ってたので、そういうところがどんだけ違うかっていうのもこのプレーオフで分かると思うので楽しみにしてます。
今日もし負けていたらシーズンが終わっていましたけど、その分この試合もっとプレッシャーを感じましたか？
それから最初からもう全然負ける気しませんでしたね。チームとしても全然負ける気というかもちろんないですし、もう全然これが最後のゲームだっていう感じで全然僕ら挑まなかったので、それがいい結果に出たと思うので、僕らのゴールはまだまだこれからなので、それに向けてプレーオフも今始まりますし、チームとしてもどんどん良くなっているので、すごい楽しみですね。
八村選手の気迫がすごく良かったとブルックスコーチが先ほど言っていましたけど、いかがですか？
そうですね、こういう大きいゲームっていうのは僕も何回もいろんな小さい頃から経験してきてて、こうやって NBA というすごいトップの舞台で大きいゲームをやっていくってことも僕にとってもいい経験になりますし、そういうところでは僕のプレーもどんどん出せたらいいなと思います。
今日は序盤からシュートをどんどん打って18得点、シュートタッチ良かったですね。
そうですね、最初から積極的にいけて、チームでもボールがずっと回ってたので、良かったと思います。
試合後にはゴンザガの先輩、サボニス選手とずっと話をしていましたけど、なんて最後に声をかけられたんですか？
そうですね、彼もすごい悔しがってましたし、僕もゴンザガ対決として、今年すごい何回も戦ったんですけど、その中で多分5勝0敗とかなので、僕としてもすごい嬉しいですし、そういうふうに先輩がこうやって、ゴンザガの先輩がこうやって NBA で活躍してくれるっていうのも僕にとってもすごい、もっと頑張ろうと思いますし、切磋琢磨できるのでしていきたいなと思ってます。
それにしても、たった6週間前、ウィザーズは借金15で下位に陥っていましたけど、本当によくここまで巻き返しましたね。
そうですね、一昨日、昨日もコーチたちと、チームのミーティングの時も話しまして、その時点で僕らがプレーオフ行けるっていうことを誰も思ってなかったと、言ってたので、そういうところでやっぱこうやって僕らも諦めないで、そういう中でも諦めないで、こうやってシーズン終盤に盛り返して、こうやってプレーオフできたことも僕らのチームとしても自信になりますし、僕としても自信になると思うので、いいこと達成できたなと思いますね。
次はプレーオフのファーストラウンド、日曜日、フィラデルフィアで第一戦ですけど、試合まで中2日ありますけど、どういうことに取り組みたいですか？
そんなに時間もないので、まずは、明日もどういう練習かな分かんないんですけど、しっかりとチームとも何回も戦っているので、そういうところでしっかりとミーティング、チームでもして、そうですね、臨みたいなと思います。
ありがとうございます。おめでとうございます。僕からは以上です。それでは、メディアの皆さんの質問に行きます。まず、柴田武さん、お願いします。
八村選手、おめでとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
ちょっと聞いてみたいことはですね、今回これで第8シードになって、プレーオフに臨まれると思うんですけども、第8シードでファイナルに行ったチームっていうのは、昔、1999年にニューヨークニックスっていうのがあって、先ほど生間さんがおっしゃったように、しばらく前にはそのプレーオフに出られるかどうかっていうのは、あまり希望的ではなかったと思うんですけど、今、ウエストブルック選手や他の選手とチャンピオンシップについて語ったりとか、いうことはあるかどうかと、それからご自分でその今のノリというか勢いで、そういう可能性についてどう思うかを聞かせてください。
そうですね、チームでもプレーオフっていうのは、こういう、僕らも若いチームなんですけど、先輩たちでも、コーチたちでもプレーオフに行った人たちがいっぱいいて、そういう中でもプレーオフっていうのはインテンシとかすごい違って言われてるので、その中で僕もすごい楽しみにしてますし、こうやってもうシーズン中盤、本当にラスト15ゲームぐらいで、僕らは全然プレーオフの圏内にも入ってなかったチームだったので、そこから僕らもすごい追い上げて、こうやって来れたってことも、僕らのチームとしてもすごい達成感あると思いますし、僕としてもすごい達成感あるので、このままの勢いだって頑張っていきたいなと思います。
ありがとうございました。
山脇明子さん、お願いします。
どうもお疲れ様でした。おめでとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
はい。アトランタでの試合の、2試合目の時に遡りますと、八村選手は第4クォーターだとか、そういう大事な場面で必ず必要とされているのが、試合ではちょっと第4クォーターにプレーしなくて、でそこからいろんな波を乗り越えながらここまで来たわけですけれども、ああいった経験、そういうのもコーチから期待されているがゆえのことだと思うんですね。伸びてほしいというゆえがゆえのことだったと思うんですけれども、そこからここまで来た自分の道のりというか、そういったことについてちょっと話していただけますか。
僕も100何試合ぐらいしてずっとウィザーズでやってきて、4クォーターの時もずっと出る中で必要にされてるなっていうのも分かりますし、その中でそのアトランタの時にあまりロックインできてなかった、僕としても集中ができてなかったなっていうのは僕反省してましたし、 そういうところの大きい舞台でこう今日もそうですし、そういうところで活躍できる選手っていうのは本当に大事だと思うので、そういうところは僕としても意識してますし、そういう大きい舞台で、チームにどれだけ貢献できるかっていうのは大事だと思うので、これからも僕もチームでもそういうふうに必要にされるような選手になっていきたいなと思います。
ディフェンスにおいてもかなりの責任を感じられていると思うんですけれども、そういう責任を感じることでプレッシャーにもなってくると思うんですが、その辺のプレッシャーっていうのは苦しいものなのか、どういった感じなんですか？八村選手としてはその挑戦を楽しんでいるのか、苦しいものなのか、どういうふうに受け止めてらっしゃるんですか？
別にそんな僕としては別にプレッシャーとして考えてませんですし、それが仕事だとして、チームとしてもそう大事な仕事を渡されてってことで、僕もそれはありがたく思いますし、その中で結果出していくっていうのが大事だと思うので、もちろん失敗とかミスもあると思うんですけど、それ以上に引きずられないで、一生懸命やっていくっていうのは大事じゃないかなと思います。
はい、わかりました。どうもありがとうございました。
では、あと2問いきます。1人1問でお願いします。杉浦大輔さん、お願いします。
はい、八村選手、お疲れ様です。はい、試合後の姿を見ていても、そこまで派手に喜びを爆発させてるとか、そういうふうには見えなかったんですけど、やっぱり今日は大差がついたっていうのもあるとは思うんですけど、目標を叶えたっていうよりも、やはりここは一つの通過点といったふうに考えてるんでしょうか。
チームとしても、その15試合前ぐらいに、中盤ぐらいにプレーオフいけるかっていうのも、本当に、チームとしては信じてたんですけど、他の人からメディアとか、普通にいけないっていうことで言われてて、僕らとしてもすごい、それが悔しくて、そこから自分たちでも、勢いに乗って全部仕上がってきたので、そういう中では僕らも最後で、本当にこうやってギリギリで入れたことっていうのも僕にとってもすごい嬉しいですし、チームとしてもすごい自信になると思うので、これからも頑張っていきたいなと思います。
わかりました。ありがとうございます。
では最後に宮地さんお願いします。
こんにちは。おめでとうございます。よろしくお願いします。
はい、
この結構ギリギリの戦いをずっとやってきている中で、コーチとか他の選手の中から、このチームは本当に特別なチームだ、もう本当にまとまりが良くて素晴らしいチームだっていう言葉が聞かれたんですけれども、八村選手の目から見て、このチームはどういうところが特別だと思いますか？
チームとしても今年はすごい新しい人も入ってきましたし、すごいインターナショナルだなっていうのを僕も最初気づいて思ったんですけど、その中で僕らの持ち味をすごいチームとしても出せるのがすごい、ラッセルも入ってでブラッドもはじめにして最初の方は結構苦労したんですけど、僕らのこのいい味がしっかり一つにまとまっていくと、本当にどのチームでも倒せるぐらいだなっていうぐらい本当に自信があるので、その中ではそういうところも僕らも本当にみんなで一緒にプレーすればそういう力があると思うので、このプレーオフも頑張っていきたいなと思います。
わかりました。ありがとうございます。
はい、以上です。八村選手、ありがとうございました。質問ができなかった方、すみませんでした。Back to you, Matt.
Thanks, Zach.
Russ, we were told tonight that there was a moment in the season where you pretty much flat out told your teammates, "I'm not missing the playoffs." What do you remember about that moment? And when you say something like that, do you see an immediate effect, or are you just saying it to be like, "I'm gonna let you guys know what I'm about"?
I don't talk just for my health, but honestly, I just wanted to let the team know that, this season at the time, we were struggling and everybody was doubting us on the outside, and we had to figure out a way to knuckle up and, make the playoffs. Simple as that. I didn't care what happened in the previous games. And moving forward, we had to figure ourselves out, look ourselves in the mirror. I start with myself, and I made it clear to the guys that we will make it.
What was your preparation like for this game? Obviously, you had a lot of games to kind of pull from, but what was your main focus coming into tonight?
Just attack. I wasn't myself last game, but my job is to make sure I'm in attack mode, find a ways to keep my teammates involved, bring our energy. And tonight I did a better job of that.
Chase.
Hey Russ, you guys have earned a first round series with the Sixers and Joel Embiid and everything they represent. What stands out to you about that matchup and your reaction to facing them?
I mean, they're number one team in the East for a reason. They been playing well all season long, and they're a good team overall. A lot of guys, a lot of different talent on the team. We got to make sure we prepare the right way, and going with the series and taking one game at a time.
And Daniel Gafford obviously had a huge game, 5 blocks in the first half alone. How impressive was he tonight?
He was great, man. His energy, his athleticism is key for us when he's playing at that level and protecting the basket. Was huge for us tonight, and he did an amazing job.
Fred.
Hey Russell, I know you've gotten to have a really good relationship with Rui, and he obviously struggled in the Celtics game and seemed to come out with a different sort of intensity tonight. I'm just wondering how you saw him react to that Boston game and how he turned it around tonight.
I thought he was fine. He just unfortunately got a foul trouble, which happens to the best of us. But tonight he did a good job of just sticking with it, being aggressive. When he's aggressive, our team is better. I've always told him that, and he's one hell of a player, and he's going to be great in this league for a long time. My job is to find ways just to keep trying to bring the best out of him.
DA.
Russ, I'm sure nobody had to tell you how you played the other night. So what are those 48 hours like?
You should ask my wife, my mom, my dad, my brother. People, they're so annoyed with me right now. Literally, honestly, I was just so pissed just to my performance and just wasn't feeling the best. When my team needed me the most, but everything happens for a reason. I knuckled down and took care of my body and made sure that my mind was right coming in tonight, and made sure that my energy and effort was there and my team could follow me.
And how does having 12 years of experience in the league allow you to bounce back from a game and not try to do too much in a big game like this?
Yeah, you know what? It's very important. When I was in Oklahoma City, Mo Cheeks, he always told me great players don't have 2 back-to-back bad games, and I always kept that in my mind, and always keep that in my mind when there is a time when I do play bad. Make sure that I'm locked and loaded for the next game. And make sure that I can go out and compete and make sure my team can follow, my lead.
Neil.
Hey Russ, you guys had 5K fans in the stands today. You were hyping them up. They were very animated throughout the game. How much did that, help you guys maintain that big lead you guys were able to get?
I mean, it's important having fans in the building, having the DC fans here, and keep them excited and engaged in the game. It's part of my job. It's something that this game brings out the best of all of us, especially with the fans in the crowd. And I'm happy they're in the building. And our job is to make sure that we can have more and more games to come to this season.
All right, Russ. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Okay, now I need to figure out how to eat.
Brad, just first of all, you guys have advanced out of the play-in tournament. You've earned a first-round series against the Sixers. What's your reaction to doing that and the way it went down?
First, praise my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. It's a great opportunity for us. It means a lot. I think it's probably one of the best games we've played all year. It was definitely the most important one of the year. And we were all locked in and engaged, man, for a full 48 minutes. It's probably the most beautiful thing I've seen us do all year. We really dialed in, stayed locked in, and didn't give any signs of life or hope, to the other team. So that's a good bounce back from the other night, 100%. So I'm just happy that, I haven't been in the playoffs in 3 years, so I'm definitely happy to be back.
Kind of related to that, kind of see you smiling a lot out there and celebrating after big shots. And I feel like I haven't seen that in a while, maybe since 2016, 17. Is this the most fun you've had playing basketball in a while? Is it safe to say that?
No, that's not safe to say. I always have fun playing a game. It's something that I've been blessed to do. And, you know, God has blessed me with unbelievable talent to be able to go out every night and be able to, you know, utilize those abilities to the best of mine. So I always take pride in that, and I always enjoy playing the game because these gifts can always be taken from me. But you know, it feels that much better knowing that you're playing for something and you're winning. Obviously, you always want to be on the other side of that and win and in that regard. So you know, it definitely feels great to be back in a playoff position, but you know, it doesn't change my happiness one way or another. You know, you're obviously going to be happy to be in the playoffs and be happy to win games. When you're losing, you're not going to be that way. So we're definitely happy. I'm definitely happy that we are where we are.
Fred.
Hey, Brad. Scott and Russell both said that you guys kind of came in with a different sort of intensity these last 2 days after the Boston loss. I was just wondering for you personally, how did that intensity show for you guys as a team leading into the game, and just kind of what these last 48 hours have been like for you?
I mean, we just knew what was at stake. You know, we fought and competed our tails off to put us in the eighth seed to begin with, and you know, we played a tough one against Boston. We wish we would have got it, but we gave ourselves an opportunity. You know, and it's granted the play-in is double elimination for 7 and 8, so we gave ourselves another opportunity. And you know, like I said earlier, this is win or go home. You know, and we understood that, and our preparation was like that immediately after we lost to Boston. You know, once we lost to Boston, it was okay. We're locked on. We're locked in on Indy. So I'm just happy that we were able to get our rest, be locked in, and came out and executed tonight.
And you guys now have a series against the 76ers in the first round. How do you, I know you had 60 against them earlier this year. How do you view that matchup?
It's gonna be good. You know, we love no matter who we match up against. We love what we're capable of doing. We'll stick to our principles and go from there. I think probably out of 2 or 3 times we played them, we feel like we could have won 2 games. You know, so it'll definitely be interesting to be competitive. Obviously, we haven't seen them in a long time, so you know, it'll definitely be good to be able to see some different faces. You know, in a different team, and it's the first of 4, so we're definitely excited about it. They're a good team, obviously, number 1 in the East. So you know, we got our hands full, and we realized that. But we've been playing really good as of late, so you know, we got a lot of noise to make ourselves too.
Ava.
Brad, we asked Scott earlier about you just playing on the hamstring. Just first, how are you feeling about it? And knowing now that you have to play potentially a 7-game series, do you have to go to like a different mental place of like, okay, I have to manage it not just physically, but I have to know that I'm going to prepare every night and not feel my best?
No, I mean, nothing's changed. I mean, it's been that way for the last 3 games I've played in. So I mean, it's not there's not going to be any significant changes. I mean, especially if I'm playing, it's obviously going to you know, wear down a little bit, but it's been feeling better. Uh, Tonight I was a little bit more comfortable and confident in it. And that's been a positive. You know, we're trending in the right direction. Obviously, I'm still, you know, being cautious about certain movements and out there on the floor, but you know, I'm able to move and manipulate some things that work in my favor. So, uh, you know, 7-game series, there's no change in my approach. You know, it's everybody's hurt during this time. Obviously, mine is a little bit more, you know, significant, but you know, it's all about the team and taking care of my body, which I've been doing. So, as I've been the last 3 games, just being more cognizant of movements like I have been, and do whatever it takes to win. That's all I care about.
Matt Paris.
Hey, Brad, you referred to Russell as probably the best teammate of your career. Just, I'm kind of curious, how did you see that play out over a season, like manifest itself, just with the ups and downs that you guys went through, especially?
I mean, nothing's changed with him. You know, his mental is always the same. His approach is always the same, and that's something you can respect. He's not a front runner. You know, he's not just somebody who, when things are going well, he's up, or you know, when things are bad, he's in the shell. Like he's not like that. You know, he stays even keel. He stays true to who Russ is, and And I think that's the beauty of the acceleration of his game and our game as a team. You know, he holds everybody accountable, but he holds himself to a higher standard, and it trickles down to everybody else. You know, and I think like Coach said, he actually mentioned a couple weeks ago, he doesn't plan to go on vacation, you know, anytime soon. So you know, we kept that in the back of our head and dug down and fought to get wins. So you know, he's an imperative, you know, big piece to our success, and we'll be moving forward.
You're on, sorry.
Brad, can you talk a little bit about the guys that have been out with injuries? And we saw a lot of huge support from them today.
Who?
TB and Denny, just being part of the team during this last week or so.
I mean, I think it's actually required of all of our guys to be back around the playoff time, but it's always great, you know, just to be able to see TB's rehab going in the right direction. You know, he's working on strengthening that knee, and it's always positive to be able to have guys around and encouraging their teammates. And it definitely sucks to be in our position because we know that they want to be out here. But you know, it's even better. It speaks volumes to, you know, their character and who they are to continue to push their teammates, root for them, and have success for everybody. You know, we all eat together. You know, so it's awesome to be able to have them back.
Neil.
Hey, Brad, you guys have played every other night or back-to-back games for the past 2 months. You know, going into the series with Philadelphia, you guys have 2 days off between games 1, games 2, and games 3. How do you think that might be able to help you, you know, get back to where you want to be health-wise to get that explosion back?
I mean, hopefully, you know, I'm not a fortune teller, so I can't sit here and tell you how I feel. I can tell you how I feel tomorrow. So I literally take it a day at a time, just like everybody else. And you obviously, you know, you try to benefit off these days off that we get, but you know, you still stay engaged and locked in, and you don't want to be too removed from the game. So we love it. It is definitely good to be able to have an extra day. You know, we've been playing well, so you obviously want to try to keep that momentum going.
And what was the environment like for you in Capital One Arena?
It was great. Obviously, you know, we haven't had fans all year, and you know, the capacity's been constantly increasing. So, you know, it definitely reminded me of being in the playoffs and just being in meaningful games again. And it's always good to be able to have our support system behind us, and definitely playing hard for them because, you know, they deserve it. You know, this city is a sports town, basketball town too. So, you know, they're waiting on us to make some noise and really make a push at this thing. So, you know, we're appreciative of their support and sticking with us throughout the year. It was definitely rocky. But we're in a position to where we want to be, you know, and we're definitely going to rely on them and need them loud and anxious, you know, playing against a nasty Philly team. So we can't wait.
Thanks, Brad.
All right, last question to Candace.
Hey, Brad, how are you? Obviously, Daniel came to the team late, and during that time, you guys weren't practicing, you guys weren't shooting around. So how were you guys able to build a chemistry with him, whether it's knowing where he's going to be at the lob, knowing where he's going to be in the back end to protect the rim, and just, you know, build that on-court chemistry?
I mean, obviously just playing. That's the only way you can build it. We don't practice much. It's tough to do it with our schedule, but so we basically kind of learn to do things on the fly. You know, we're easily adaptable to each other. We understand each other's strengths and weaknesses, and we play to those things. You know, we believe we have some of the best playmaking guards in the league, and you know, and for Gav's ability to be able to catch and finish above the rim, it keeps defenses honest. You know, because Russ and I are going to attack Ish, Neto. We're all going to attack downhill, and put a lot of pressure on their defense and then on our bigs and force them to make a decision. You know, either you step up and stop us, or you know, it's going to be on top of your head with Gav. So it's just been, you know, playing. That's just a matter of even with him gaining more confidence, getting acclimated with how we play, where he can and can't get the ball, where, Russ and I do and do not want screens and stuff like that. And it's been an adjustment. We've been doing really good of, holding each other accountable and learning on the fly.
All right, Brad. Appreciate you.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining tonight. That is all we got. We'll send out some more info shortly. Thanks.